So we started off with this framework that we're going to use to move into these breakouts and constructively engage. And we started out with real simple stuff: people, planet, profits, and sustainable beef. Poof, instant, right? That was too simple. In June, we brought that forward to multiple stakeholders, many of you in this room, many outside of the room, and we said, hey, here's how we're building this framework to move forward. And input came in, tremendous input came in, saying, hey, you need to improve this. So it needs to be more robust, and we made it more robust based on that input in June. We also had these key issues, if you would, selected based on the outcomes of that June meeting. It was a starting point, okay? Just a starting point. But what we found is that these didn't connect each issue to the triple bottom line. And the way we had built this framework, it was a good start, but kind of lame. We didn't connect each of the issues with a category, i.e. people, planet, profit. We couldn't make the connections, and so people got disjointed on things. It wasn't good. We tested the metal failed, so we made it more robust. We recategorized, we run that by several people, and in fact, we didn't run it by, they gave them to us. Air, biodiversity, energy, land, people and animals, and water are the 6 categories that we have started with. This is a work in progress. It is your framework to build with and to move and to shift and to give good input. Some of it will be readily accepted. Others will be challenged and brought forward and saying, well, we've got some gaps and challenges when we do that. Okay? So that's the basic categories that we're moving forward with. This is an eye chart for the back. So if you could read that line on the back wall. Now, don't worry, don't try and read this. This is in your packet, okay? This is the core of the issues framework. The only reason, and this was the starting point that we destroyed, and we destroyed it in September because there was a negative orientation and it lacked balance in this positive and negative piece. And it wasn't able to give constructive engagement around trade-offs. And it didn't move easily across the sectors, across production, across processing, across retail, across restaurants. It didn't move constructively. And we had this human health complication in the discussion. It wasn't like angina or anything. It was this complexity that we had in there that people challenged and said, we need to get rid of that. What do you see when you see this? Get your clicker out. Remember this, imprint it in your mind. Voting poll is open. What did you see? Did you see a grass stand next to water? Did you see beautiful wildlife habitat? Did you see a potential source of water contamination? Did you see a potential housing development? All of those could be true if you own that piece of property or viewed it. Keep voting. Yep. Please vote. Please vote. Yep. Get your clicker and vote. Yep. Hit your buttons, 1 through 5. When we get to 100, I'm going to move it, so get your vote in. Very good. There is no wrong answer. There is no right or wrong answer, right? Because it can be many things to many people. What do you see here? What do you see here? Do you see a methane emission source? Do you see healthy and content steers? Do you see a potential source of income? Do you see an animal welfare issue? Or do you see something else? 1 through 5. As we sit around the tables today and talk about these issues, this is the kind of thing we're going to see. This is the kind of discussion we're going to have as we take it to the next level. And as you move out of this forum and back into real world, these are the kinds of discussions that you're going to get into. That's all right. That's great. No right or wrong. What do you see here? I didn't put that on there, but kind of. Okay, poll's open. No, that's good. Poll's open. Do you see a source of protein and nutrients? Income? Potential? Potential food safety challenge. Do you see a clean and well-organized cooler? Or something else? Closing the polls. Very interesting. Awesome. Yeah, great question. What are the something else's?
All of the above.
All of the above. Excellent. Any others? Great. Excellent question. What do you see? Sometimes you only get a glimpse of something, and you have to make a judgment. That happened yesterday all the time. That happened yesterday, but all of us made judgments. All of us do that. You don't get a second glimpse sometimes, guys. What'd you see with something else to follow up? Employment? Yeah, employment.
Something we needed more evidence on because we didn't see it.
There you go. Okay. So where are we today with this issues framework as we move forward productively and constructively? This is where we have landed for now in the working document that is in your packet that you had received and that you'll be moving forward with. This is a starting point for the dialogue for us to process information. It's simple in this way, in that we have issue categories. Remember those 6 issue categories down the left-hand side. And then we have key issues that have been identified. And the definition is a general issue with a significant measurable, positive or negative effect resulting from the production of beef. And then we view these through that lens, that triple bottom line lens of social equity, economic prosperity, environmental integrity. And we move through those with more granularity that is up to you to define. We give you a starting point because you are the experts and you have your views. Now, remember that list of the 8 that we're moving forward with that you're going to receive, you've received issues briefs on? There are 8 of those. So you tell us now in this poll, what is the most important sustainability issue to the global beef supply chain? What is it? The single most important one. Well, click on the clicker. They aren't verbally controlled. 1. That would be cool, though, if they were, wouldn't it? If we could do that through an iPhone app. Somebody get on that. Okay. It's diverse, isn't it? That's a great starting point, though, isn't it? It's a great starting point to think about what's most important to us. That doesn't mean that the others don't come into play. Now, remember, you can be talking about, for example, land management, and you can bring up community issues in the triple bottom line. That's how this filter works. You can bring up, think about the impact, the social impact, the economic impact associated with land management implications. We heard about the shifts that are occurring in land management use and what it means in social context, the environmental context, and the economic context. This is an enabling tool. This is not a disabling tool. It is a hammer. It can be used effectively or very ineffectively and inappropriately. You will learn more from Pat and the team and the Consensus Building Institute facilitation team about how we move through this. He's going to give you a more detailed view of it. But the nutshell is that we break down those big issues down into smaller pieces. It's as if you're harvesting an elephant. You're breaking it up a piece at a time so you can bring it back, process it, use it effectively. We'll break those down into regional pieces and then elements according to the different sectors within the production system, whether it's a pastoral or extensive or however you want to call it, a pastoral or a feeder setting, whether it's a packer processor side, the retailer food service side. It's a big table. It's a table that's critically important to all of us. And there are times that we feel like people around the table want nothing to do but to shatter our plate. The plates are tectonic. There are shifts that are occurring. They're occurring faster. They're occurring with more force than ever before. There are ways to design systems and to be effectively living around tectonic plates. If a person and their family are not prepared for those situations, for whatever reason, they can have dire circumstances. They can also be some of the most beautiful places in the world to live. I like quotes. If we're here to build relationships, to move to meaningful actions, and we share and we talk and we listen, this is a starting point. It's a start on the path. It's not the end. What do you see?